So welcome back to another edition of Off the Shelf Comic Book Reviews with Dan Schessel. And that's right, I am Dan Schessel. Now, we are going to be doing things a little bit differently this week. This is going to be part of a playlist. Now, two things before we get going. The comic book that we are reviewing is called Comics for Cause, Mask of the Gargoyle. And we have 7 different stories packed into this book. The second thing I'd like to mention right away is that all the proceeds for the comic itself is going to the Alberta flood relief. And it is part of the Red Cross. I believe the funds are going all the way to the Red Cross. So, is this book any good? Is this, worth checking it out? Obviously, good cause. You can't really go wrong with it. But we're going to go take a look at what's inside of this book and give you a good take on, if it's worth reading and worth picking it up. And that's pretty much it. All right? So, with all that out of the way, let's get going with this. So this review is going to be for Monkey Business. Okay, I want to start with the artwork on this one. The pencil work was fantastic, but there was a few parts in here where the shading that was done was really where it really shines. The problem lies with the fact that the whole chapter is not completely finished. That sort of kind of pulled me back from panel to panel. The panels that were done and weren't done were kind of intermixed, and you kind of notice when there's no shading. It really just made it look really flat in those panels, and it didn't really do the story anything. Like, it didn't do it justice. The story here is not too bad. I feel like that whole reporter really being a superhero bit is kind of overplayed, and I'm not sure if this was meant to be more a play on the other really noticeable superheroes that are reporters, or if the writer here had a story that was kind of in mind, and we just don't quite know the characters, mainly because it's kind of a short story and they just kind of throw you into the action. The villain in the story here is I think one of my favorite parts of this story. He's way over the top, mad scientist. It was just a fantastic choice. And yeah, there's a giant ape in here. Basically, it's your typical superhero saving the day in a very over top of the way. Overall, the art is really good and it's a lot of fun. There's a giant ape that looks really awesome. The panel layout for the action sequence is, frantic, but it's not too distracting, and it's easy enough to follow. The main character here is kind of a strange choice. I wasn't really a big fan of the reporter superhero, and it's flying, like, it's basically Superman. But it's not Superman. He's got a fist on his chest. So it's not Superman. I didn't say him. Anyways, the panels with the shading was done really nicely. But there was a few panels in there that weren't done, and it just kind of felt unfinished. But overall, I did enjoy the story. I had a lot of fun reading it. I thought it was a pretty good, a pretty good start to the book. So like I said earlier, this is part of a playlist, and you can check out the next video by clicking the link right up here, or by skipping right to the very end and checking out my complete thoughts on the book by clicking on that link right here. Otherwise, that's it. I want to thank everybody out there for watching this video, and like and subscribe. See you on the next one.